I'm PJ Wharton. I'm president of Yampa Valley Bank here in Steamboat Springs. We have branches in Steamboat and Craig. Flashback to March as we go back to just all of us from a memory perspective. You know, when March Madness was shut down, the NCAA, professional basketball, professional hockey, our kids and the schools were being shut down. That's when we realized that this was going to have a significant impact, specifically Steamboat and Craig. The ski area shut down the last 2 weeks of March. Obviously, you know, in the valley for all of us, many of us were going from a really, really great year and great ski season to now hanging on. So, from our perspective, that's when we started hearing rumblings from the Treasury and the SBA about what is now known as the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. The Paycheck Protection Program was designed and is designed to get money into the hands of Main Street. Our legislators actually have done a really good job of building this on the fly and responding very quickly to the needs of Main Street. And for instance, in our communities, you know, with restaurants being shut down, retail being shut down, and so many of our independent contractors, realtors, service providers, gig workers, etc. This is a huge, huge impact. So, dating back then to, let me see here, get my dates. April the 3rd is when we had the announcement from the SBA they were going to roll this out. We have a staff of 40 here in Steamboat Springs, 20 in Craig. We have 7 loan officers in Steamboat, 3 in Craig, and only 1 loan officer could even get into the SBA system on that Friday, and nothing worked. So incredibly frustrating, incredibly inefficient. And we knew, again, Secretary Mnuchin said, go to your bank. The PPP loans are there. You might be able to get money the same day. So the expectations were very, very high from our clients. To make a long story short, our team came back on Saturday and Sunday. Our team in Craig developed an assembly line process. We put together a ton of time in terms of infrastructure, and our entire team really rallied that entire weekend. And then, frankly, the next 3 weeks, long hours at night, long hours on the weekends. And just to give a perspective, we booked during that time about 510 Paycheck Protection Program loans for a little bit more than $36.5 million. Compared to, you know, our normal quote unquote loans, that was about 2.5 years, or about 2 years worth of loan growth that we completed in about 4 weeks. So an enormous amount of work, an enormous amount of uncertainty, but just a great team effort. And I also want to give kudos and congratulate my other fellow community banks, Wade Gephardt over at Mountain Valley, Adonna Allen at Alpine Bank, and Adam over at Vector Bank. Everybody worked really, really hard to help our communities. And that's what this is about, is getting dollars into the hands of our business and independent contractors. Our hope is between the stimulus checks that went out to most taxpayers, as well as the PPP loans, we think this is a lifeline that'll hopefully get us into summer, and then hopefully we can salvage the summer, and all of us as a community, from a business perspective, get to next ski season, and, you know, God willing, we get back to what may or may not be normal. We had never done this before. There was no rule book, so to speak. And the best way I describe it is you're literally building a plane as you're flying it. And at the time, it was about 200 miles an hour, and we're trying to put this thing together. So where we are now, obviously, there is still money available. So if you are a business owner or an independent contractor or a gig worker and you have not applied, go to your bank. You need to go to the bank that you work with. If for some reason you're ready to move, we'd love to have you here at Yampa Valley Bank, but we do need to be your primary relationship holder. Beyond that, if you've already received PPP money, the big thing really is to conserve cash, do all you can to get your employees back to work, because that's what's going to be forgiven, which is payroll. I talked to Cory Gardner, our senator, yesterday. There's no guarantees, but they are working. They understand that how seasonal we are in the mountains. They are working to perhaps extend the forgiveness to 16 weeks versus 8 weeks. But again, there's no guarantees to that. Hearing the news this morning, they're talking about perhaps another round of funding for stimulus spending. So bottom line is our customers are being really smart. Restaurant owners, they can't open or they're doing the takeout only. They're having their employees work on projects, painting, etc., having them in the payroll. So I guess the key would be work with your accountant. We're going to continue to get information. The moment we get it out, we have spreadsheets of what we think the forgiveness will be based on from some really renowned CPAs, etc., but it's not set in stone, and I'm 99% certain there will be changes to it. Hopefully those will be beneficial to our business customers, but again, it's going to continue to change. On our board we have a gentleman who is the COO of Vacasa. Vacasa is the largest nightly rental company in the world, and they're actually seeing reservations up in other parts of the country, specifically uh, Texas, Gulf Coast, Florida coast. So people, it seems like, are, obviously we're all have cabin fever and we want to get out and ride our bikes, etc. So it appears that people will want to come back to the mountains. Even looking to next year's ski season, pre-reservations, which again this time of year are very small, are actually pacing on or about even with last year, and that includes people who fly. So again, I think we're all a little shell shocked of what's gone down and understanding what the risks are, and there's again that's constantly changing too. So our hope, obviously, it's going to be bumpy, but we live in an amazing place that people want to get out and have fresh air, and we're not densely populated. So hopefully we can provide an escape for people to get away from the cities and the Front Range. Again, no guarantees. Heaven forbid there's a second wave of COVID, but it does appear that people want to get out and travel, etc. So we'll hope for the best. Obviously, there's not going to be a large events, and just toning and providing a market that people want to come and relax and get the beautiful fresh air that we have up here in the mountains of the Yampa Valley.